And welcome to this video. I'd like to go over today how to make the simple practice part below. Let's go ahead and get started by opening a new part. I'm going to go onto my Sketch tab, choose Sketch, and depending on how I want to orient this part, maybe I would be best to orient it the way that we see in the picture. So if that be the case, I'll extrude this face here, and it looks like it would be most appropriately on the right plane. So let's start working on this profile here. We're given a few dimensions. This looks like a highly symmetric part that I would like to do an example on. So let's do both a sketching mirror and a feature mirror. We'll mirror the base with a sketch, and then we'll mirror the feature here. So I'm going to get started by making a line, and it looks like I have to do a little bit of math because I don't have all of the dimensions available. Oh, it looks like I do. I've got 70 right here. So let's make this a distance of 70. This is probably in millimeters. I'm just going to leave this default to my inches. So this will probably be 25.4 times larger than it needs to be. But for an arbitrary example, that's okay by me. We're going to make this a distance of 56, referencing this height. And as we come over here, it looks like we have a dimension given for the whole center, and we don't have a dimension given for this length that I see. So I'm not going to dimension that on my sketch. Instead, I'll go right into a radius without giving a length to that line and making this tangent. Now I've got another 3-point radius. I'm going to end this at the top here so that we can mirror the sketch and make these tangent. With this being vertical over the origin, I'll give the appropriate radiuses. Looks like this one is 15, and this radius, that's a little bit hard to see. It looks like 35, a radius of 35 on this outer radius. Now I know I want this to be tangent to horizontal. So we'll highlight these two and make it tangent with my horizontal line. Finally, it looks like I'm not constrained on my overall height. I don't see an overall height given, nor do I see any dimensions that constrain the whole center. So I don't see very much geometry that would tell us what this overall height would be in regards to this dimension. Usually there's an assumed geometry when that happens. And so I'm going to assume that at this tangent point we are tangent to vertical. To make it tangent to vertical, I'll simply highlight the tangent point and the arc center and make them horizontal. Because when we are horizontal with our center, we are vertical in the arc. So we're going to assume, based on this drawing, that that is the dimension that we should apply. Finally, I'm going to add a center line, and I can do this to any length. Might as well do it from the bottom to the top. And I can choose mirror entities, and I'll choose these entities here, and I'll mirror about this dotted line. Oops. If I accidentally add the dotted line, I simply right-click and delete, and choose this line here. Now we'll extrude. It looks like we're given an extrusion depth of 30. So features, extrude, and 30. I can make this mid-plane. I don't see much benefit to do so because we're not symmetric about where we're extruding. So that's all right. Now I can highlight this face, maybe sketch on it, and add my holes. It looks like we have a geometry where this hole is concentric with our outer arc. So highlight the arc and then sketch on that little center point of the arc. And we'll give it the diameter of 40 that the drawing says. Likewise, I can position these holes as well. I'm given a distance from the edge of 16, and it looks like these are both 28 from the bottom. 28. and 16. I'm not seeing a diameter for these holes. This one is has a radius of 10, and so it looks like this would probably be a typical feature that would be applied to all holes, even though the drawing doesn't seem to explicitly state that. So we'll give this 10. And since we've mirrored once, we can resketch another hole. But since mirroring seems to be the theme of this video, I will mirror this feature across. Whoops. Again, some old habits here. Across this, and there we go. Features, extruded cut, through all. Now we have our holes done. So let's talk about this feature mirror. It looks like between these two faces is a distance of 40. I can make a new plane, but why go to the trouble? I'll go ahead and sketch this profile on our front plane. Yep, I'm on the correct side, so I will begin my sketch, and I can start in this corner. And I'll use a 3-point arc, tangent, and we'll make this tangent as well. And we'll close off this surface. All right, now we see that these holes are concentric with the outer arc, so I will grab my smart dimension, and relative to this face, we know we need to be a distance of 40. We also know that this is a radius of 10, and we know that this height should be 45. Finally, I can add my hole. Smart dimension to 10. And we're fully defined on our sketch. So let's go to extrude this. Now, of course, we know we need a thickness of 15 and off-center because we're sketched right on the center of that. And we know the off-center, we're going to go a distance of 20 and then another 15 for outside edge. So we'll say features, extrude, and we can even say 20 plus 15 if you don't even want to do the mental math. And then we can, so that will be our final offset, and then we can go off of our sketch plane offset a distance of 20. And it looks like I've displaced my sketch, so I can just type in my 15 here. So as you can see, I've gone 20 off my sketch. So I've gone a distance of 20 off of my sketch to satisfy this dimension. And then I've gone another 15 thick. And I'll accept that. And now I simply need to mirror this feature to the other side. And I've oriented my sketch in a way that I've got my front plane running as a line of symmetry. So I will choose mirror. Front plane is my mirror face, and my features to mirror is this extrusion. It looks like we've completed this sketch, and we look remarkably similar, so I think we were correct in assuming that this tangent point was a vertical point. Thank you for watching this video. If it was helpful, please subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.